What if the news could unite us across our differences? And what's really going on in the halls of power, regardless of who's elected in office?
Welcome to the Want to Know Weekly Newsletter. We save you time by summarizing important news articles buried by the mainstream, revealing both the darker forces shaping society and the best of human goodness, creativity, and collective power. Here are a few excerpts of this week's curated news collection. The health of our children is the foundation of society. Yet when was the last time a politician put children's health first? Issues like gun safety and online bullying are critical concerns that demand attention. Yet the gravest threats to our children's well-being extend far beyond the headlines. Undercover FBI agents have been engaging teens online to plan acts of terrorism, only to arrest them as soon as they turn 18. Many of their targets are teens who have significant cognitive and intellectual disabilities, yet no history of harming anyone. In June 2023, 18-year-old Mateo Ventura was arrested and labeled a terrorist financier for allegedly running a scheme to resell gift cards to fund ISIS. However, the truth reveals a different story. He never funded any group. The only person he communicated with was an undercover FBI agent who befriended him online when he was 16, asking for small gift card donations while instructing him to keep it secret. Struggling with developmental issues and severe bullying, Mateo was manipulated into a situation he never would have entered on his own. In December 2023, Humza Mashkour, an 18-year-old with autism, was arrested by the FBI for allegedly trying to join ISIS. His actions stemmed from more than a year of online conversations with people he believed were ISIS members, but who were actually undercover FBI agents. Instead of helping him or informing his family about his troubling online behavior, the FBI manipulated and befriended him, stringing him along until he turned 18. Now he's faced with serious charges that could result in a long prison sentence. Prosecuting innocent teenagers like this not only pads the FBI's arrest and prosecution statistics, but also helps justify its budget by misrepresenting the threat of terrorism. National security expert Sahar Aziz reflects on the troubling nature of the FBI's tactics, saying if there were genuine terrorist threats in America, the FBI wouldn't be diverting its resources to ensnaring a mentally ill minor. And why is Fox News the only mainstream media platform reporting on the fact that 13 mayors across the U.S. have been arrested on child sex crimes since 2021? We verified the arrests of every single mayor mentioned in the article, not to mention the 349 public school educators who were arrested on child sex-related crimes spanning nearly every state in the country last year. Border Patrol agents are sounding the alarm about a disturbing trend where children as young as 8 are being drugged and smuggled into the U.S. by traffickers posing as family members. Authorities have expressed concern about the fate of these children once they're in the U.S., as they're at high risk of exploitation for labor and sex trafficking. The situation has worsened under the current administration, with a significant increase in unaccompanied minors crossing the border, many of whom have gone missing after being placed with sponsors who aren't properly vetted. According to a report by the Center for Public Integrity, thousands have disappeared from sponsors' homes after the federal government placed them there. Whistleblowers from HHS, DHS, and ICE have been speaking out about this horrific issue, in which an internal watchdog report estimates that U.S. immigration officials have lost track of tens of thousands of unaccompanied children. Watch our Mindful News Brief video on our YouTube channel to learn more about how the U.S. government facilitates child trafficking at the border. Schools across the U.S. have become hotbeds of constant surveillance, with tech companies gathering data on tens of thousands of K-12 students. These firms aren't required to disclose how they use this data or ensure its security from hackers. In Surveillance Education, authors Nolan Higdon and Allison Butler reveal how big tech has convinced us their platforms are free, but they come at a serious cost: our privacy. These companies profit big time from our personal data. Yet the dangers in schools extend far beyond surveillance. They also encompass the alarming safety of the food our children consume. In our schools, 30 million lunches are served daily, with the USDA claiming they meet nutritional standards. However, testing by the Health Research Institute revealed alarming hidden dangers: heavy metals, pesticides, and veterinary drugs in these meals. Samples from schools all over the country contained over 50 pesticides, including 38 in a single elementary school lunch and 23 in one strawberry cup. Toxic substances were found that are banned in many countries for its link to cancer, birth defects, and other major issues. A federal court in California has ordered the EPA to address serious health risks from fluoride in U.S. drinking water, citing credible evidence that it may lower children's IQ and poses potential hazards to their health. In our latest Substack, we report on the groundbreaking recent Senate panel that exposed how the U.S. government has been turning a blind eye to the corporate cartels fueling America's health crisis, and the impact on our children is especially alarming. Never before have we witnessed over half of our youth suffering from a chronic health condition. Almost 50% of adolescents have had a mental health disorder, and 1 in 6 youth ages 10 to 17 have obesity. Studies show that colon cancers grew 500% among children ages 10 to 14. 77% of young Americans do not qualify for military service due to significant health issues. No U.S. president has addressed the root causes of our health crisis, which aren't mysterious. Giant corporations control our food and healthcare systems, and they instrumentalize our government agencies to support policies and products that harm human health and the environment. If our politicians won't protect the next generation, who will? Well, the news isn't all doom and gloom, and it never is. Roberto Brito grew up in the Amazon rainforest, logging trees for monetary income. Yet thanks to the establishment of the Rio Negro Sustainable Development Reserve in 2008, Brito shifted from logging to leading eco-tours, finding that he could earn more in a week than he ever did in 3 months of cutting trees. In 2011, he opened his nature lodge, leaving behind his chainsaw for good. The ecological restoration of the Amazon rainforest is even healing the deepest of divides. Former members of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, FARC, a guerrilla group involved in armed conflict for decades, are now participating in ecological restoration projects as part of their reintegration into society, following a peace agreement with the Colombian government. Ex-FARC members are planting 1 million native trees in order to counteract deforestation. Now, tourists in Colombia can now take jungle hikes with ex-FARC guerrilla guides. As the world grapples with violence, war, and environmental destruction, a northern Cheyenne chief is urging humanity to embrace a mindset of love and forgiveness to end the cycle of hatred and conflict. He shares a story about the brutal massacre inflicted on his ancestors by a U.S. Army officer, and how his ancestors chose to make peace with this officer through a sacred pipe ceremony. He says, quote, "We will never end war unless we change the mindset that created it. War cannot defeat war. Only love can stop war. My love and my forgiveness do not depend on you. I want to forgive you for what you have done to my people. This might be our last chance to put an end to this genocidal and suicidal mindset. I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it." Check out the news article summaries below for all the stories we covered this week. And remember, we can't shift the chaos we're in until we name it clearly. Beyond partisan politics, challenging information can paradoxically remind us of the greater good. It is the courage of the people and the love for the common good that bring these injustices to light, fueling open dialogue and constructive action. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, like, leave a comment, and share this widely. We're all in this together.